So today we want to talk about being able to solve equations, and we're going to look at it from the standpoints of different types of equations. First, we're going to start off with your basic equation. And when I say a basic equation, I mean an equation that looks like this: 6x plus 7 equals 37. To me, that's a basic equation. The way that we would solve this is, let's first draw a line straight down the equal sign. This allows us to look at the equation by having information on one side and information on the other side. What we're trying to do when we talk about solving an equation is that we're trying to figure out what number is going to fit into this x. What number can I plug into this x that makes this true? I think the best way to solve it is to first look at what's going on in the problem. And in this problem, I know 6 times x is multiplication. And then the plus sign means that we're adding 7 more. So to solve it, we're going to do the exact opposite. So first, we would subtract 7 from both sides. Remember, this is side 1, this is side 2. Now, if we subtract 7, we're taking it over to the 37 because numbers, of course, operate with numbers. So, 7's cancel, and I have 6x equals 30. Again, remember what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this x all by itself. So if I look at 6 and x together, if I know that's multiplication, to solve it, the opposite would be to divide both sides by 6. So the 6 is canceled, and you're left with x equals 5. So that would mean that if I took 5 and plugged it in up here, 6 times 5 plus 7 does equal 37. So that's why, of course, x would equal 5. Let's take another basic equation. Let's say we had the problem 3x minus 8 equals 28, if that is our problem. Again, I think drawing a line down the equal sign helps you look at one side and then the other side. Because whenever you do the one side of an equation, you always do to the other side. So in this case, if this is minus 8, I would add 8 to both sides. And again, I know this 8 goes on to 28 because these are both numbers. There's no letter attached to any of this. Another way to know that you're doing it right is if I look here, this is minus, this is plus. The signs have to be opposite of each other when I talk about adding them or subtracting them from one side to the other. So that cancels. 3x equals 36. And then, of course, again, if this is multiplication, the only way to get rid of it is to do division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 3's cancel, and x equals 12. So, of course, that would be my final answer, meaning that if I took 12 and plugged it in for x, 3 times 12 minus 8 should give me 28. So those are just basic equations. Well, of course, there are different styles. So let's look at another style of an equation. Let's say we have what I called like term equations. And what we mean by like terms, we're bringing back something familiar. We know what like terms are. They have to have the same last name. So let's look at an example. Let's say we have the problem 4x plus 5x minus 10 equals 35. Again, go ahead and split it down to equal sign so you know this is one side, this is the other side. If I look at this, they have like terms together on the same side. So I can do this math right here before I start doing anything else, moving anything from side to side. So 4x plus 5x gives me 9x minus 10 equals 35. So now this goes back into looking like how we started this lesson with basic equations. Well, I know what to do now. This is minus 10. I'm going to go with plus 10. And remember, side to side. That makes this cancel. I get 9x equals 45. So I can divide by 9, because again, that's the opposite of multiplying. And I end up with x equaling 5. Okay? Like terms, I went ahead and solved them, simplified the like terms before I started moving anything from side to side. So remember, that's a good thing to do when you are looking at your equations. Let's try another like term problem. So let's say we have the problem 5x plus 7 minus 4x equals 6. That's our problem. So again, splitting it down to equal sign. One side, the other side. Looking for like terms, I have some. 5x can go with minus 4x. And again, we've talked about making sure that you carry the sign that's in front of the number, that you look at that when you're combining your like terms. So this is saying 5x minus 4x. That is just going to leave us with, sorry, that's a oopsie, just x plus 7 equals 6. Okay, so then from there, I would subtract 7 from both sides. 7's of course cancel, so x would just equal -1. And again, we call those like terms because there are some like terms in the problem. Another set of equations that we want to look at are equations that we call variables on both sides. So let's see, if we had a problem like 5x plus 7 equals 3x plus 2. We notice that we have our line down the middle, and we have a x on this side and x on this side. Now, in all our previous problems, there's only been an x on one side of the equation. Well, this time they're on both sides. All that means is that we need to move this x over to the other side. And just like before, when we're moving stuff from side to side, we know we change the sign. I like to keep all of my variables on the left, but you don't have to. That's just something that I like to do. So I'm going to subtract 3x because that was a positive. They cancel out. I'm left with 2x plus 7 equals 2. I would then subtract 7 from both sides. They, of course, cancel out. So 2x equals a -5. Last step is to divide both sides by 2. Now, I am going to have my answer of x equals a -5 over 2, or you could turn it into an improper fraction. I'm sorry, it's already an improper fraction. You could turn it into a mixed number if you like. You could turn it into a decimal, but it's fine to leave it like that. That's still okay. Let's try another one. Let's say we have the problem 8x plus 6 equals 5x plus 9. Again, split your problem down the middle. And I know you don't have to do that, but I think it helps you guys to really focus on one side and then the other side. You only change signs when you're moving stuff from side to side of the equal sign in terms of adding and subtracting. Right now, this is a +5, so I would subtract 5x from both sides. That makes this cancel. So I have 3x plus 6 equals 9. Then I would subtract 6 from both sides. Make this cancel. I have 3x left, and I am running out of space. Sorry about that, you guys. But I have 3x equals 3. Divide both sides by 3. And of course, x would equal 1. So that's if I have variables on both sides. Well, we have one last type of problem that we want to look at when we're talking about solving equations. And that one is if we have parentheses involved. So how do we tackle a problem that has parentheses? Say, for example, we had the problem 7 times x minus 2 equals 21. Again, split the problem down the equal sign. That just keeps you balanced. And then after a while, you won't have to do it because you'll think side to side. But this is just a little thing that will get you through any type of equation. So I know from past experience that when I see parentheses, that means multiply. And I'm multiplying what's outside by everything that's inside. So this 7 is going to be multiplied by x to give me 7x. The 7 is then going to be multiplied by the 2 to give me minus 14. And of course, that would be equal to 21. Again, you know at this point, it should start feeling comfortable about what the next step is. I would add 14 to both sides. This cancels, so 7x equals 35, and then divide both sides by 7. That cancels, so x would have to equal 5. Okay, one more? Sure, why not? Let's say we have the problem 2 times x plus 4 equals 8. So that's our problem. Again, split it down the equal sign. Remember, outside goes to everything inside. So 2 times x would give us 2x. And 2 times 4 would give us 8. Equals, of course, 8. We would then subtract 8 from both sides. Make this cancel. We got 2x equals 0. You already know the answer is right, but just in case for those of you that's like, no, keep going, divide by 2. 2's cancel, and x would equal 0. So that would be my final answer. I don't know, I got a little sloppy at the end, sorry. Okay, so that is solving equations. Everything after that will be a combination of the things that we just talked about. Now, you got to see the next video because we're going to talk about how to use all of this to help us solve word problems. Okay, till then, bye.